up, my people, and welcome to another episode of Everything is Wrestling. I'm your host, Tugi, and we are here where all talk is only about wrestling, the best, the fun times, and the entertainment. You know how it is. Let's get straight into it with a recap of Smackdown, which took place in OKC, Oklahoma City. And we get straight into it with the return of the best in the world, the champion, CM Punk. However, it starts off with the introduction of Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis is officially reinstated as general manager, and after mediation regarding his recent physical altercation with Gunther, I will now introduce to you the new undisputed WWE champion, CM Punk. Comes in Punk, he addresses the sudden return and championship win, declaring his intent to defend the title as the best in the world. Now, Punk comes out stating that he's reminded of 3 words. I miss you. He then leads on to stating that after championship opportunities fall out of the sky, CM Punk catches them. And after putting on his gear in his house, I kissed my beautiful wife on her lips. I got into my car and I drove across town to the All-State Arena so I can now stand here in front of you and ask, isn't it great to be alive on a Friday night in Oklahoma City as the new undisputed WWE champion, or what? Crowd goes wild, as you expect them to. He openly calls out Sami Zayn for his social media meltdown. He invites people like Gunther, Finn Bálor, Damian Priest, and Trick Williams to challenge him. If you think I have what belongs to you, come and get it. I'm not hard to find. He purposely avoids one name, Cody Rhodes. Surprise, surprise, he is interrupted by Cody Rhodes. Whoa! The American Nightmare comes straight down the ramp, comes into the ring, and before even grabbing the microphone, Cody grabs his chin, tilts his head up a little bit, turns it to the side, picks up the microphone, and then turns and he says, "How's your eye?" Punk looks and says, "It's worse than it feels. But Cody, we know that's not why you came out here." "So what do you want to talk about?" he sarcastically repeats. It leads to Cody then reminding Punk of the last time they were in the ring. He mentioned his own eye and championship opportunities that fall out of the sky versus those that have been building up for years. Now, Punk responds, but maybe subconsciously they've been avoiding this because they are friends, you know? And he states that he figures when this happened, I would rather it be in the main event of WrestleMania, but Punk thinks that they can't run away from this anymore. Cody agrees. He's reminded of when he was champ. He told Punk, just say when. And he doesn't know if that's the situation now. Holding the microphone, Punk looks around, looks into the crowd, turns and goes, when? He gets in Cody's face, squaring up to him, and Cody replies, SummerSlam. They shake on it. Nick Aldis reappears. And there it is. It's official. At SummerSlam, the main event will be the new undisputed WWE champion, CM Punk, against Cody Rhodes. at the main event of SummerSlam. Now, this quickly cuts, and as soon as it ends, it goes into a backstage interview with Kathy Kelly, who's now interviewing Jade Cargill, B-Fab, and Mi Chin, and she's claiming that her goal tonight and confirms that she will destroy Alexa Bliss and make Charlotte Flair's life a misery. Because she's going to absolutely destroy her friend. Let's take her out. Let's get rid of her. This then cuts to a match of two great wrestlers who, one is sort of coming up and one I don't know what is happening with him. Finn Bálor versus Tama Tonga. Finn faces Tama with, obviously, Tala Tonga lurking at ringside. And Tala provides such a critical distraction by grabbing Balor's leg just before the commercial break, allowing him to obviously allowing Tama Tonga to obviously gain the upper hand. Now, Bálor rallies him with a sling blade and a shotgun drop kick, which is fantastic moves, always in the locker of Finn Bálor. And despite a distraction from Tala, Bálor recovers, hits a suicide senton dive onto both men outside of the ring. The crowd are going wild and always, for the whole entire match, remains heavily on the side of Finn Bálor. Obviously, because he's the face. He's a great face. I did like him as a heel, but he's still a very, very good face because he's someone who not only looks amazing, but wrestles amazing. And then after another shotgun drop kick, he follows it up with a coup de grace and ultimately wins the match. Fantastic spectacle. I'd like to see that again with a longer sort of time limit on that. This then cuts to Carmelo Hayes, who he's been dismissing Lil Yachty and Trick Williams. He's like, hey, if you're, no wonder Yachty's a good sidekick, you know, because of the fact that Yachty, all your songs in the top, all your biggest songs have been features. So no wonder you're a psychic. Let's talk about it. And when you talk about Carmelo, he states, you don't need to mention two words. You don't need to mention you don't need to mention deserve, and you don't need to mention opportunities because he's proved. Sorry, you don't need to mention proving himself because he's proved himself time and time again, and all he deserves is championship opportunities. Everything Melo does is money, insisting that even though he's been dragged through the mud, even though he's been pushed aside, Melo don't miss, and once again he shall prove that he is him tonight. That'll be an interesting match to look out for later on in the night, but then they cuts to another backstage segment between one of the biggest veterans in the game right now and one of the funniest characters you'll ever see, because R-Truth is paying Fraxium after the World Cup loss United States had. And Fraxium leave as the War Raiders walk in, who are asking about Truth, saying, hey, have you spoken to Nick Aldis about our championship match right now? Because I'm getting annoyed right now. We're the AAA champions. You lot are the WWE Tag Team champions. I want those titles too. Truth drops a few lines in Spanish. As soon as they turn up, he says, hola. He says something else. I can't remember, but because obviously the War Raiders are in AAA, he's speaking a bit of Spanish, showing off his skills right there. And then as soon as the War Raiders finish, they're interrupted by Big Jim, Jimmy Uso, and the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu comes straight in and confront R-Truth and say, hey, we're looking for someone. He's about this high, flat-footed, and he kind of looks like Keish. Talking about Solo? Yeah! Dog, these kids yeet on themselves. Solo's babysitting, I just found out. After that, Jacob turns And he goes, "Do you see Truth? Do you see Royce?" Truth responds, "Dog, I ain't seen him a day before in my life. But if you see him, hide your chain." Priest quickly comes in. "Yeah, I've seen him. So what? He's not our problem." They disappear. Jacob and Jimmy disappear. They're like, "Yeah, we're going to hit up the ring. I don't care." Priest turns to Truth and states, "Royce Keys is not our problem. Leave him be. What has it got to do with us? Forget it." This then cuts into yet another backstage segment with Nick Aldis speaking to Gunther about, obviously, Sami Zayn and what's going on. Nick's on the phone with Sami, and regarding his mental health, as per his request, "Sami, I've allowed you to have the day off. Please, leave me alone." The call is interrupted by Gunther, who is confronting Aldis about the SummerSlam main event and demands a title opportunity by the end of the night. Obviously, Gunther's going to want in. He's a bit annoyed that Cody's handed yet another title shot as soon as he walks into the ring and interrupts CM Punk. "Nick, it's your first day back on the job, and already you've made a huge mistake. You have until the end of the show to fix this." He turns around, walks away just before things get out of hand. Oh no, actually, they were playing Jimmy's music, but I wish they were playing Jacob's music because Jacob's music actually slaps better than Jimmy's at times. Jimmy and Jacob come into the ring, and whilst they're calling out for Solo Sikoa, Royce Keys appears instead. Royce Keys is turning around saying, "Hey, what's going on, man?" Jimmy turns and goes, "You don't look like Solo. What's going on here?" But Royce says he's got a problem because he keeps mentioning his name. But guess what? "I brought Royce to that ass," he states. He turns to Jimmy and he says, "Jimmy, your family business is affecting everyone around here, including me." Jimmy says that it's not his business. It's OTC business. Now, if you're messing with my business, it's OTC business, and then we got a problem. Royce reminds him that the man he runs plays for, what? The OTC, that's not even here. Soon as he states that, James goes, "What? What?" Steps up into Royce and says, "Hey, Royce, we tight. Well, let's keep it like that. Royce, me and you, we tight. Keep it cool. Let's keep it 100. You can say anything you want about anyone else. But when it comes to the OTC, please, bro, say it, please. Don't go there." Royce turns. He says, "It doesn't need to be like that." But Jimmy interrupts him. Says, "Royce, you're not a part of this. You ain't a part of this family." And Royce turns around once again and he's like, "Look, I've heard you loud and clear. I don't care, but blood doesn't make family. Loyalty does." Now, loyalty makes family, and although the fact that he goes into a story about how he has no family, somewhat more or less no family, he's lost his family, which I believe is actually a true story in somewhat. Jacob Fatu has been like a brother to me for 14 years now, and I refuse to watch him fall like this. Jacob's looking a bit distraught. He's looking a bit confused. He doesn't know how to react. "Hey, Royce, you're about to cross a line that you can't come back from. You understand that?" Royce says he didn't come here for a fight tonight, but if that's what it looks like, then if there's a line right here, I'll just cross it. Hey, you crazier than I thought, man. You think you could take on me and Jake? Me and Jake? Jimmy Uso starts going on about how he's no match for the two of them. Jacob grabs the mic and goes, hey, there ain't no we in this situation right here, Big Jim. This one's on you. I'm out. Jacob leaves. I was a bit confused, and whilst Jacob's leaving, Jimmy asks, hey, Nick, get a referee out here, man, because we need to end this business right now. Whilst he's about to turn, he quickly tries to hit Royce. He just gets caught by Royce Keys, throws him out the ring. It goes to commercial, and then we come back. During this match now, it's such a back and forth because Jimmy's trying to use his athleticism. He's trying to use his high flying maneuvers. He's trying to use things like his spears, but Royce Keys is so dangerous. He's too big. He's just dangerously athletic for someone his size, and he's too powerful. Now, whilst he's outside of the ring, Jimmy stands back. He's like, yo, time out. And out of nowhere behind him, time out. Yeah. Solo Sikoa arrives. He charges up the Samoan spike, and then now, Solo Sikoa's music hits. No, not Solo Sikoa. Jacob Fatu's music hits. He comes storming down the ring once again, and they start to scuffle outside of the ring. Fatu throws Solo Sikoa over the timekeeper's area, over the barricade. Both of them go flying. He chucks him into the ring. Apologies. Just before he chucks him into the ring, Royce is kind of distracted. He turns, bang. Jimmy Uso hits the spear with the distraction that now Jacob Fatu has caused, ultimately leading to the win and gets that victory against Royce Keys. Now, this quickly hands away because now Jacob Fatu grabs Solo, throws him into the ring, grabs a chair, puts him in the corner, puts his head in between the chair, turns, sprints at the other corner, turns around, sprints straight at him, and boom, he stops. Comes straight short of an assault, of snapping his neck. Hey, Solo, you better listen to me. This Monday, your ass better be there for the family. Because next time, I won't stop. I love Jacob when he gets into these little segments and he gets into his promos and he breaks out and shows him real self, because Jacob Fatu demands that Solo Sikoa has to get on board with the family by Monday. Otherwise, next time, I won't stop. Backstage, it then cuts to another segment with Kathy Kelly interviewing CM Punk about some of the comments that he made with Sami Zayn and Gunther. He's interrupted very quickly by Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. Johnny Wrestling is still laying and planking. I don't know what day and age it is, but he's still planking on that stupid box. She turns around and was like, as annoying as Sami can be, he's the only person that didn't give up on Johnny. Sami holding on to that title was hope for the real underdog. Sami Zayn is the last real good guy, and he is the voice of the voiceless. A bit of a kick in the teeth for CM Punk because he's called himself that for many, many years, and he stole that from them. Punk gets annoyed. He moves away from Kathy Kelly, he turns, he goes, I hope you can hear me, Johnny Wrestling, or whatever this is, or whatever's happening, but this is not working. He tells them they need to get back into the ring and do what they do best because it's not working. As Punk turns away, he's interrupted and he's face to face with Finn Bálor saying, was hoping I'd bump into you. Welcome to Smackdown, champ. And it leaves something lingering with the fact that Punk already called him out. And now they've had their interaction, the face-to-face. This then cuts to the the actual matchup between Jade Cargill and Alexa Bliss, which we were told that she would put an absolute whooping to Alexa. Now we're introduced, obviously, to woo and however Alexa Bliss's song goes. It's a beautiful song, I can't lie. I like it when some songs don't have too many lyrics, but at the same time, obviously, we love songs with lyrics. Charlotte Flair and Alexa comes out, and then boom, a storm is coming. In comes in the beautiful storm of Jade Cargill, obviously with Michin and B-Fab, and whilst obviously Alexa is showing, again, her athleticism and speed, Jade is putting on a sheer performance of power. Now, behind the referee's back, obviously, B-Fab gets involved. On the other side, immediately after, Charlotte Flair gets involved. And to the confusion of Alexa, she's distracted because of the fact that Charlotte gets thrown outside of the ring into the actual ring post once again, which we've seen in the past hurt and damage her, but then followed by the fact that Jade hits Alexa with a pump kick. She then hits the Jaded. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Down goes Alexa. Immediately, as soon as the match ends, B-Fab and Cargill start attacking, obviously, Alexa Bliss. Charlotte Flair tries to interrupt, tries to help her friend out, as she always does, try to save her, but the numbers game prevails. Then we see something ultimately quite disturbing to some people. I thought it was an absolute spectacle because with the steel chair, Jade slides Alexa's arm in, and with a grisly visual, she's pulling back the chair, bending back Alexa's arm, and then throws it across. And it completely has a visual of her elbow completely hyperextending and more or less looking like it's broken. And I don't know about you guys, but I couldn't tell if that was kayfabe or not. I couldn't tell if that was real or not, because the fact that Alexa's able to put her arm like that, surely her arm's broken. Surely her arm snapped. Like, that was not nice. But unfortunately, she doesn't lie. She did exactly what she said she would do. Now, this then cuts to another backstage. There was a lot of good backstage segments this week. I cannot lie. Trick Williams is just looking around frantically. It's like, where's my belt? Where's my belt? Ricky Stinks! I know he a weasel. He looks like he'll steal my title. I'm gonna go get him just before he can disappear. Boom. Hey, yo, man. Hey, chill, man. Chill. Look, hear me out. Excuse me. Lil Yachty comes in. Hear me out. I went and got you a legacy title, man. Lil Yachty reveals that he has been working with management to secure Trick Williams with a legacy title, a legacy version of the US Championship, which is beautifully and uniquely covered and adorned with fur. Trick turns and goes, "You went and got me a legacy title? Like how they did for John Cena in the back day? Limited edition Trick Williams Fur Edition? You're a bad boy." Lil Yachty hands him this beautiful furry title and then says to him, "Yo, on one condition, man. On one condition. Tonight, you go out there and you give a diamond whooping to that gremlin." Obviously, Trick William agrees. Hey, that look good on you, boy. That look good on you, like money, like a polar bear. Brrr. Let's talk about it. Hey, you know what? A lot of people have been, and because I'm a Lil Yachty fan, I've been his advocate. I have been calling his name from the moment he came out here. But a lot of people have been saying, what is he doing here? He's not really too much of a performer, X, Y, Z. And I'm like, nah. The fact that hey, that look good on you, boy. Like money, like a polar bear. Brr, let's talk about I love Lil Yachty because these two are just blooming together. This cuts to the match itself between Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. And after a fast start with the two competitors, Melo hits a frog splash, Trick hitting a trick kick cyclone, which I don't understand how Melo kicks out of. But as the match is reaching its climax, Melo pushes Trick Williams into Lil Yachty. He rolls Trick Williams back into the ring, and whilst attempting to climb the top rope into the top turnbuckle to attempt nothing but net, out of nowhere, Baron Corbin. Now, Baron Corbin has been out for over a year. Baron Corbin is back? What? What? I'm so rattled because he throws him off the top rope. And after absolutely laying out both competitors, disqualifying the match, he hits an end of days, which I think is such a gorgeous finish. And the fact that he does it to, first of all, he does it to Carmelo Hayes. And then with someone of his stature, with his size, he does it with ease to Trick Williams. Corbin grabs and discards the fur-covered US Championship Legacy title onto the down Trick Williams and leaves the ring. And now we're left thinking, what? Baron Corbin could be going for the US title? What? I'm excited. He looks into the camera and disappears up the ramp. Now, this ultimately ends with the closing segment of Gunther. The Ring General. Gunther takes over the ring, storms down, and summons Nick Aldis. Nick, I gave you until the end of the night. So come on down and tell me what your decision is. Nick Aldis comes out and he says, Gunther, I will give you exactly what you want. Whilst he's taking this, Gunther's laughing in that beautiful way that he does, mouth wide open, large and loud. You want Punk? I will give you Punk. You want CODY? I will give you CODY in the world's most famous arena at Madison Square Garden. At Saturday night's main event, it will be CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, who will team up to face Gunther and your friend Sami Zayn in a tag team match. And Gunther goes insane. Hey, what do you mean? What are you doing? No. Obviously, Gunther's going to be annoyed. Obviously, he's going to go ape, bleed, and just start wiling out. Dissatisfied with this decision, Gunther assaults Nick Aldis, and following elbow after elbow into his neck, following a huge clothesline and a lariat, he places him in a sleeper hold, in his famous anaconda hold, in that with those big arms of his wrapped around his neck. And despite the swarm of officials who attempt to separate them, Gunther repeatedly chokes out Aldis time and time again until ultimately wrestling is more than one royal family. Boom! The American Nightmare once again sprints out, storms into the ring, and at which point the broadcast ultimately ends abruptly. And I'm like, what? What just happened? Now, guys, I don't know about you, But I really really enjoyed this episode of Friday Night SmackDown because, again, sometimes they can be a bit lengthy. Sometimes they can mash many things together and try to go through virality after virality moment. And I'm just a bit. I was really pleased at how the show went. There was many segments behind the scenes backstage that actually really went well. And even though it was slightly shorter, I was interested in the fact that the matches made sense. The segments, the interviews, they all led smoothly. And again, everything just sort of fell into place. The Bloodline looking good, CM Punk and Cody looking good, R-Truth dropping bombs. So, guys, ultimately, I'd probably give that I might be pushing it and I might be biased. I'd say between an 8 and an 8.5 because yes, I might be. I'm going to say 8. 7.8. Okay, I'm going to go to 7.8 because I do have to be critical and consider the fact that the wrestling matches, number one, there wasn't many. And number two, it wasn't too great in terms of storyline, a couple of disqualifications, a couple of distractions, etc. But ultimately, I really like that. And I'm very interested to see what happens with Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline, what happens with Gunther, Cody, and Sammy, and CM Punk, how that's going to end. And on top of that, what's happening with Finn Balor, because he's now coming back into the picture. And even though we sort of watched his podcast with Steph, he's looking like the form of his life to a huge degree. But on top of that, what's happening with Alexa's arm? I'm interested to see how long she's out for. But that was the quick roundup of Friday Night SmackDown. We have a big Raw coming up. We have Saturday Night's main event coming up, and very soon we have SummerSlam coming up. So we'll be recapping all of these shows. I can't wait to be here with you along the way and enjoying it along the way. And yeah, guys, remember to please like, subscribe, hype, share, follow on everything. And please follow the journey along the way. We will be back very, very soon because, again, everything is wrestling. Peace and love, baby. I've been your host. Peace and love. I'll see you.